Hey, what's up, Al?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, just kind of tired today. I had actually a really long day today, but I mean, that's normal, but just, oof. Gotta go to an N8N event later. That's gonna be a couple hours. It just started raining.
Yeah, the rain last night was a little loud.
Yeah.
We had a palm tree branch land on our deck, and it made this like thunder sound. And of course, I'm like running out there going, "What is hitting the house?"
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. I walked outside early in the morning. Well, actually, not early after I got off the workshop yesterday, and I'm like, man, it's like super windy. Like outside, I see the whole time it's like super windy, and then I look, and I'm like, it looks like it's about to rain. I'm like, nah, can't be. And then my cousin comes over, and he's like, yeah, it's raining for like the next 5 days. I'm like, wow.
Yeah,
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 it's yeah, kind of a mess.
yeah. But besides that, I was just doing some studying, some stuff like that, like Claude Code, and just looking at just like my usage, and it's so funny. It's so funny. I'm gonna make like this skill that well, it's already made. I need to publish it later, but it just
Yeah,
reviews all of your Claude Code sessions and gives you insights basically.
yeah. I was just thinking through how many like MVPs I've built and decide whether or not any of them are worth pursuing to like a next stage. You know, and then I've got a few projects for customers that I've got to push in the next couple days to production.
Hmm. Yeah, this kind of so like Claude already has a like in default they already have it. It's just I'm not sure how it works like in terms of trying to be specific with my words here. One, it doesn't analyze all of your sessions. Two, I think it only does it from like the project that you're in or recent projects that it just pulls in general. 'Cause that's literally what I've been playing around with the last 4 hours. And then also Claude has like this, there's a setting where I could be wrong, but if I'm right, like every 30 days it deletes basically whatever is like past 30 days. So when I was like looking at my messages, I noticed like just some things weren't adding up, and I was like, oh, because this isn't there. And I'm like kind of familiar with editing my Claude code a lot, so I could kind of already tell. And I was like, you know what, I should. I was like, I want to look at all my conversations and everything because then I can just use that to like literally improve. Like I don't know, it's so interesting. I always hear like these crazy add-ons people make, and I just always find myself not making any add-ons and just using like the stuff that's already there. And I feel like
Yeah.
it's doing the same exact thing. Like the things that people are saying it's not doing, and that's why they created it, like something
Yeah.
entirely different to add on. I don't know. I feel like it can already do that. You just need to edit your settings.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's right.
I gotta find something to measure that, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't make a lot of skills because I've been using one or two sets of plugins or kind of operational like frameworks, and I don't go outside of them much. Um, or you just ask, like, do I need to make this skill or is it somewhere and I missed it, And they're like, nah, we can, we have that skill, or like Vercel already has the skill, or somebody trustworthy has something built, so I don't have to build it very often. Um, and I'm trying not to just like go out there and get random skills um that are on GitHub because it's just who knows what's happening out there. Um, but I built a GitHub repo scanner and a skill scanner that looks for vulnerabilities and rates them um, in terms of risk. And if there's something I want uh, bad enough, I just pull the text of the skill. I don't install it. I just get the text and I said, make a better skill out of this and clean it up and get any vulnerabilities out of it. And then I might use it. But I try to stay away from the open source community of skills right now because it's just so random.
I feel the same way about certain things too. I don't think I have too many random skills. They're all from like companies and stuff like that,
Yeah.
or the creator of that platform. Well, it's 11:10, so I'll get started with this. So today we're talking about LiveKit. I'm assuming here, but you may know of LiveKit or not.
Yeah, I don't use it. I only know what it is. And so it was interesting to see just how you interact with it.
Yeah, so I've only interacted with it in 99% live hosted things. I'm gonna do the cloud version here, and then I probably will do a live hosted one. But I know like all of the AI platforms have kind of made like updates in general. So it's kind of interesting to kind of do a refresh if that makes sense. It would be something that I need to do anyway. I haven't specifically done any voice projects in like the last 5 months. And usually when people come to me, it's like it's not even enough to do a project. It's just like, hey, you should just here's this documentation. You can go look at it. I know exactly what that problem is. Like here's how you go fix it. And I think I'm gonna be upset. I need to restart my Chrome because for some reason this thing keeps trying to do Yahoo. It's like super annoying. It's not even something I change. So LiveKit. I know most people don't know, but LiveKit powers 911. And it's also what OpenAI uses for their voice infrastructure as well.
Interesting. Then
You didn't know, now you know. What are you gonna say?
yeah, like how distinct is it from like I know ElevenLabs is more of a presents itself more of a consumer face, but it's not. Like it has a lot of engine and stuff like that. So I don't.
I'm not sure if I can answer that question, but I mean, like, LiveKit is open source.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
You know what I'm saying? Like, 11 Labs is not open source at all. So,
No,
like, all this technology is open source, but of course, they have a cloud version to like
yeah, get some
make all
support.
that stuff easier and stuff like that for you, so you don't have to do it. But yeah, back to the reason why someone like OpenAI would use that, right? Because why would they
Yeah.
use someone else's engine? And
Yep.
in terms of something like that, they probably try to use something open source and
Yep.
go there just to get that. So when you come here, they have a very interesting dashboard out of all the platforms. And of course, you can like get started for free. So yesterday, real quick, just to, because always have to remember this is going to be put out and other people may come and see this and stuff. So yesterday, we used a platform called VAPI, which is not an open source platform. And it's just a very known platform. It's the platform that I started with voice. And then people always ask about self-hosted solutions, even though I'm not starting off with self-hosting LiveKit or going into that. Um, Basically, there's kind of, I guess you would say, two routes when it comes to the voice. You would use a platform like VAPI, retail, you get charged a little bit on top, or you would come to something like LiveKit, where you can self-host it and not get charged on top, and you can charge on top to whoever you're building this for, other things.
Yeah.
Or if you're looking to have more quote unquote robust infrastructure and scale and not be charged for that and other things like that as well. So first thing we need to do is come to agents. Actually, no, we need to, yeah, come to agents. And then what's interesting, so like I said, I've only done this from, and just to give like really clear context, it's gonna be like, how can you do that but not do that? So I do not usually use platforms like the interface, the GUI of platforms, meaning I log into that platform. You're probably always trying to do something with the API. And then if you self-host stuff, you kind of literally don't need to log into anything because when you're self-hosting, it's like gonna deploy that same screen or other things before you even log in, you can still do that or put it on a server. So if I just go to my chats real quick and actually, let's see if I can find this. Like, that's too long ago. Yeah, like a month ago. And Claude acts like it wants to freeze, so let's give that a minute. So, and even if this wasn't a self-hosted setup, still the same process of using Claude to learn about LiveKit, learn about these platforms so you can use them. Um, so yeah, I just was like, hey, I'm very interested in self-hosting LiveKit. And even if I do know about it, I just talk like this to Claude because it's way
Yeah.
better. This is how I do things, right? So and this thing is still trying to freeze. Come on, come back to me. Okay, right. So right, LiveKit, it does a search, LiveKit this, da 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 da, starts doing that. And I'm like, hey, you have access to my VPS. And it does because basically I have an MCP attached here, the same one,
Hmm.
the SSH one, right? So that would actually go into the SSH run commands. I don't think you can see any here, maybe because they're done. So yeah, it actually go into my VPS, see everything that's set up there, do all that stuff, right? Literally see I have more than enough criteria. As an example, it sees I already have a pipe cat on there, which is another self-hosting
Hmm.
infrastructure, fully open source, entirely different conversation, but just going through what I mean to give context when I say like I'm not logging in or you don't see an assistant. And I kind of talked about this yesterday with VAPI, how I use transient assistants, which don't show up in the dashboard when you do things. So literally, this is a conversation of just this actually. Setting this, I'm actually having some other things done here, but it's basically setting this up and making sure I don't, do things wrong on the VPS and all those things. And I don't know why I was building a database or something. Maybe I forgot what I was doing specifically. And I'm pretty sure it was meant to do that because I wouldn't let it go with that long of a
Yeah.
conversation with doing that. But just in general, right? This is just that conversation. And then I'm also going up like looking to see how much it would cost on other
Estimates.
platforms like Google Cloud. And that's kind of like what it's explaining to me and stuff. Actually, I remember going through and seeing what other platforms I would host it on and how much that would cost when it comes to, because also like remember whenever I do stuff, it's always thinking like how can you redeploy this in a way and stuff. So it's talking about, more platforms like GCE and AWS and other things like that. And then yeah, I got
Hey,
hit this. Go ahead.
oh yeah, you hit it. Two questions come up. One,
I
I
was on my
forget
phone
what.
when I was doing this. That's why I hit this.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Uh, which SSH MCP did you pull in? I forget.
Oh, this guy right here, Tooth Knock.
Okay. I know there's a few out there. I just want to make sure I was looking at
Yeah, but
one.
I mean, there were I don't remember why I specifically chose this one. I did do the research. I think it was really just because like it really was like these only two tools. And then
Hmm.
also to be like more technical, I have a front end interface where like because when I was doing research, like what powers this MCP server is also something that I have powering another front end interface that can like connect to any server if you put in your
Right.
credentials, if that makes sense for clients.
Yeah.
Got it. So that's how I came to this because it was using the same Node
Interesting.
NPM package for Node.js that can manage like be used like on the front end and stuff like that.
Interesting. Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Gotcha. So for example, like I have clients that come to me that don't have N8N, they want N8N. I need to set that up on a server.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a front end, right, where they can just go and put in their credentials of their server and then download N8N automatically.
That's interesting. Okay. Interesting.
Uh, yeah, so to give context on why there would be nothing here. Now, personally, because obviously we're using Claude Code, I'm curious on what this start on code is here, right? So it's going to give us these
Mm,
commands, which is like
interesting.
really simple and easy. Now, of course, I've talked about CLI. and all that stuff. We all know about that. Claude knows about this. Why can I not copy? Okay. I technically do not have to do this, but
Yeah.
let's just do this for people following this. So let's go back, right? It's just me and you, so I don't have to kind of go through the whole Claude Code thing. And if you are watching this and you do not have Claude Code, I suggest going back to the first video, watching that 10, 15 minutes, and then you're gonna be ready to
Yeah.
start a new project in here. So I'm gonna open up VS Code. And I think I already have, let's check because I need to make sure my naming is always right. So I have, yeah, I already got LiveKit stuff here. So I'm just going to name this regular LiveKit. All right, so we got LiveKit. Let's open that up. Yes, we trust. Close this chat. Close this. Open up our terminal. Start up Claude. I'm pretty sure I'm nowhere near my usage, but let's just check because I'd be really sad if any of these I just, for some reason, don't have any usage left.
Are you just using the desktop app
I'm not
or are you
using the
using
desktop app.
okay, that's the browser.
Yeah, but you can check. It's that easier just to come check your usage right
Yeah.
here on the desktop app.
Are you on the $100 or the $200 plan?
$200.
Yeah.
I want to explore building agents with LiveKit. Here are some instructions. Paste, plan mode, and let it go. And to be honest, plan mode is really irrelevant because I don't even have anything in here and there's nothing really to plan besides what that's going to do. And I'll probably have it planned after, but let's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, it would just it wouldn't have anything to execute. So
Yeah, I want to get people kind of used to doing that for sure, though, because see, it's also going to, you're right, do an extra web search, try to maybe do some extra stuff that I probably might request or we would end up asking anyway. But, sometimes for me personally, I like it doing that. It's very rare that I'm kind of like, don't do anything that I didn't tell you to do type of thing because I don't,
yeah.
yeah. It's not like we're playing with a database or have code that is, have something built to even then. And even to that extent, I don't really, like I say, mind too much or care too much. What I am gonna do though and cheat, so actually while that's doing that, because I always want to make sure I have something to talk about and not get sometimes you get as soon as you get look like caught in looking at that, you get like in a trance and you forget you can do other things. So with that being said, going back to the thing that I've talked about before many times, shadcn, which is a the foundation basically for building web applications. It's what a lot of people use. It's easy to get started with. Coming back to, I talked about the directory, right? Where different people build these components. Well, guess who also has components, right? So I can go to the live kit, right? And then they obviously this will go to their documentation, just clicking on this, but they also have components for the web. And I just love web a lot when it comes to voice. I really think it's better than phone personally. Entirely different conversation. But yeah, talking about front end components and other things like that, which are what built on top of the shadcn and AI elements, which are two things built and managed by Vercel, and also two. Yep. So we have different styles of these little toggles here and stuff for visual.
And they're just they what do they do? They represent that somebody's talking to
A plethora,
the
a plethora
the
of those
platform.
things. Transcripts, buttons to mute the conversation, turn up the volume.
Jeez.
All those things that you would expect if you were, I mean, I guess if you think about it piece by piece, right? If you're interacting with a quote unquote voice agent on a screen, what would you want to see or what should you be seeing?
Yeah.
Some indication that you're talking to something. Transcripts, if you want to see transcripts, right? A way to start the call, a way to end the call. Basic stuff. These are same thing, components for that. No different than right, no different than VAPI also having components to do that. And I'm kind of mad at where's that actual example? Can't show it on the screen like that, but it's to kind of give an example. I have a friend who created components for VAPI like this and different type of UI components. Once again, you just click on it and you talk to a voice assistant, um, other type of things. So
Interesting.
coming back here.
This is like a whole nother world for me. I haven't even looked at this stuff yet.
Like I said, it's more so about like, I think really the start is just not thinking about building from scratch.
Yeah.
That's really all it is. For some reason, and this is speaking as a developer, someone who has that kind of build, like I always think about, I don't know, I guess just as a developer, that's because I've done a lot of work, you go through, do I need to build it from scratch type thing. And then even more so when it's things you don't specialize in or work in, right? So, and it's no different. Like if someone's an expert marketer, there's going to be some type of template for some type of thing to help you with doing that thing. And it's the same thing with almost every platform that you use, being a little bit more specific, uh, especially platforms that have to do with code. I think that's a better way to kind of frame that. Almost all platforms that have to do with code, it's I so far I've seen that it's very rare you need to build from scratch. And I do believe more, not just the fact that you don't have to build from scratch. I think people would be able to get their ideas out better in a multitude of ways, not just UI. You got security, you got other things that would be way better if they just stop thinking, I need to build from scratch.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I think I need to I never had a talk with a lot of developers to really see like, do they build from scratch as well? Because do think a lot of people, like it just get common. I don't know. I don't know what gives that spark to not want to do that. Obviously, automation is very close, but I still think it's kind of hard to see that perspective because I don't think I got it until, yeah, I didn't get it until WordPress a little bit, maybe my second year in WordPress. But that was also because just as using WordPress and learning how hosting providers do things and everything in between, I wouldn't have been able to get to that experience. And
Yeah.
then what happened was I met someone else. I wanted to learn something new to the framework that I was doing with WordPress. And that led me to somebody who was like an actual literal, like beyond WordPress expert, has contributed to community 20 plus years. And basically we had a talk with him and he was like, man, you know what? I sit down and talk with a lot of people. He was like, I think you're one of the people that gets how the WordPress ecosystem works, which is an entirely different conversation. But once I guess I kind of got like some validation in that same thing, and also I can kind of see like, oh, this person is literally doing kind of like what I've been trying to build or talk about, or they're looking at other solutions trying to do that. Uh,
Hmm.
it just really opened my eyes, and then that's how I was able to build that WordPress as a service framework, which is, as I say, the best analogy is just literally how high level works, but it's for WordPress deploying multiple sites. And it's not a multi-site, these are individual sites that each person has, and it doesn't share resources and all these other things. And that was just a very interesting and cool journey. So this is doing some good amount of research. It's going to the GitHub, it's looking at stuff. Um, I think it's trying to pull some stuff from Docker. And I think it's actually going to build this in Python, which kind of makes sense because from research, and this might be important for other people, might not. And I think the default it will probably do Python just because there are more features for Python than TypeScript, which makes sense. Python been around way longer and all these other things. But that's important. And just to give like a reason why, because I remember understanding that you can have a Python backend and a Next.js front end or another front end in general. If you kind
Yeah.
of get to that level, is like super important. Because I could be wrong. I don't know a lot of Python front ends besides Streamlit. And I'm just, it's not that I'm not a fan of Streamlit. I don't know. I wouldn't use it really
Yeah.
for an actual app, but it is something that is very known, but I don't know. I think I'm just really too used to shadcn Next.js components mainly because it's like my WordPress and just playing around with like those type of builders and stuff like that. But Streamlit is really easy to import an app, connect it, make some type of interface, and do a plethora of things. But yeah, I learned that lesson, one of the important lessons, the hard way when I was working with the NCA toolkit a long time ago. All right, so it's finally gonna write the plan. Need to check that too. I'm gonna make sure today I update all my hooks and stuff like that. Do I already have a LiveKit account? Yes, I have one. What kind of start with the default chat? Yep, let's just do that. And we will improve from there like we did yesterday with the VAPI one. And today we feel for sure we should be able to connect the phone and then have it call my phone. Yesterday we didn't get to that with VAPI. I wanted to, but it was just a lot of information to share about. You weren't here yesterday, right, Adam?
No, I didn't get the
No, no,
I
it's
forgot to
it's
go
it's
get the
fine.
new.
Yesterday, no, no, it's fine. That one actually, for whatever reason, when I added the new workshops this week, that specific one for some reason was at 11 p.m. And I didn't know that until like 30 minutes before because my other friend
Yeah.
was joining and he was like, "Hey, bro, it says this is like at 4 o'clock my time, and I know it's not like gonna be at 4 o'clock." So I changed it. So when I did that update, I think 30 minutes at that time, it would have updated you. And then at that time, it would have updated you. So if you would have seen it, you would have kind of
Yeah.
missed those, I think, annoying messages that if they send a couple of them that you would usually get. But yesterday was, and I think it was really still good, important, and value. It was just really like the different parts of dealing with voice agents and stuff. Like building a prompt and getting an agent to work is like really easy and it takes the short amount of time. I think, in my personal opinion, the things that take the most amount of time is like testing, and just to actually, I think, get a good gauge of testing on a voice assistant. I think minimum, literally, you have to test at least 2 months, 3 months, like for sure. That seems excessive. I'll say 1 month minimum, but like 2 months for sure, just because like there are a lot of random things that happen. You could test and it's all good this day and do that. And then of course you know how technology works. You show a client it doesn't want to work or this
Yep.
happens. Super, super common in voice. Be super good 1 week, next week all bad thing. And it's hard to kind of tell like I think that has to do with just changes that the platforms are making in the back end, such as the models and other things that really mess with that. And I'm not going to sit here and say like we can't change that or fix that, but my whole point is that doing the prompting is easy. It's more so tools and are they firing? You know, if they are firing, what's the percentage of the success rate and the fail rate? And you know. capturing the data, how are you capturing the data, like all those separate parts, telephony, SIP trunking, like all those things are
Yeah, more complicated.
super, yeah, super, way more complicated than making a prompt and doing that stuff. So I need to open a new terminal because I need to type, I think it's LK, where is it? LK Claude off. Cloud. Oh, I'm saying Claude, cloud. Okay, cloud off. So, okay, cloud off is using the
And that's for your
CLI.
login, right?
Yeah, it's marking this laptop, and I think this is already going to save because I've done this process before already. So it's asking for a project. Make sure it's on my account, not my client's. Now I have
Boom.
access granted with the CLI. Make this the main project. Yep, let's do it. Why not? Yep, test what? Yeah, I'm already. Yeah, I can't do test West because it knows that exists. Okay. CC challenge. Okay, and we're done. So I can come back here and say already authenticated. I think it's still okay. No, it's using CC. Okay, nice. I think it's gonna do that by itself because it's asking, do I want to? I know there's a command it wants me to put in here while it's doing that. So I think it might take a little while to not, it's not going to do anything because it's asking. Let's see really quick. Oh, no, I didn't want to run that in the background. I was trying to open that up. Yeah, see, it's not. It wants me to run this command and to not mess up that interactive mode because there's something I need to press here. And you see what I'm saying? Like when you run some CLI commands, they're interactive and you can't put what's called a flag, meaning like it overrides that and just does it. Now I could be wrong. This could do that, but if it didn't say it would, then that. So it's asking me, save CLI, use project, what's we call it? Yes, I did want to say that. So now it's creating a Sandbox app, cloning template, which all of this now just got made. Mm, try to, so what I would do is just, and I don't have to, but I do. I hate when it does that. I just, no, it's not what I wanted to do, you know? I just want to copy this. Say done. While it's doing that, do that. It's probably gonna run dependencies. You have tests right there. I'm also gonna say, I'm not gonna say yes, but just remember I'm gonna copy this registry. We'll come back to that. Remember that entire registry is basically all of those UI components. Oh, while I'm actually doing this, I have .env variables that I already pulled and already started using. That's cool. Okay. And what's cool is that it has agents.md. Ah, this got removed, so I don't need this anymore. Please take a look at the agents.md file and you can add that to our Claude .md file as well. And when I say add that, I just mean make references that point back to the agents.md file for the CLAUDE.md file. Never want to try to overload your CLAUDE.md file. It takes up context. Just want to point that back to other things like that. Let me go get a paper towel. All right, all right. Just the waiting game, sadly. I don't have any extra ideas to do right now, actually. Just kind of rare. But like I said, the for voice, it's really straightforward and simple to get set up. It doesn't really get technical, literally. Tools, I think tools is really probably like the most difficult thing. Setting up phone numbers and doing stuff like that is really actually easy with SIM trunking. Now, probably buying a number or finding one might be hard, but and I'll see do this process if LiveKit does it, which they might not. But like I like starting off with a platform like VAPI because one, it just teaches you about voice AI and a company handling those things for you. And if you want to move for that for whatever reason, you can move to a platform like LiveKit. But also, too, just to get started, you can use one of their phone numbers. And if you don't need the text, it's good. And if you're not worried about having all that data in control, it's easy just to get set up with a voice assistant. So just some small little problems here. Ah, okay. It already does that. So my bad. It kind of knows how I like to reference those files and do that stuff. Oh, it needs to run a command here. Mm-mm. I like to just take note of these. This console mode has a known Windows into. What does that mean though? This console mode. Does that mean like the terminal? Does that mean Claude Code itself? I want to ask, but I don't want to ask, but that just sounds interesting.
One specific issue.
Huh.
Interesting. Yeah, it's just showing that it has one specific library issue. Someone
Sometimes,
loaded it.
so I'm very specific. I don't like seeing warnings. So whenever I see warnings, I like to clear them up. And warnings aren't always bad. Sometimes it just means update or a future update is going to happen and things like that. I just like to stay up to date as possible with packages basically that you're using and stuff like that. So what's done? Authentication, template, dependencies, environmental variables, Silero VAD and turn detector, which I'll talk about that in a minute, super important. And then it says we can test and do certain things. So I would love to test it. I don't want to customize anything first, but can you explain to me what Silero VAD and turn detector is? I've never heard of those. Oh, and uh-oh, I'm sorry. I just like super knocked over my camera trying to point at something. It also give me 1 minute. Ran the test because they have like a test file here. Um, when like deploying this test, building this agent or doing whatever the case may be. And then it says open the LiveCat playground and talk to them. So LiveCat has a playground. Just took me to the main page. Am I? Maybe I read something wrong too fast. Sure, I'm there already, but I don't see the agent. Oh, and then I'm slow. I asked that question and it said, what is Silero? VAD is like some super important in almost everything. Every voice platform has it. If it doesn't, then I don't even know what to say. Right. But it's a lightweight neural network that listens to audio streams and classifies each chunk as speech or non-speech. This is essential because without it, the agent will try to process every sound, background noise, keyboard clicks, breathing, and etc. It tells the system when to start listening and when the user might be done. It runs locally and is very fast. It also is used like in the cloud too. We have turn detector, right? Turn detector answers a harder question. Has the user finished their thought or are they just pausing? People naturally pause mid sentences to think, breathe, or gather their thoughts. A simple silence based approach would cut them off. The LiveKit turn detector uses a language model to understand context and predict whether a pause is a mid sentence or a completed turn. Then you have the multilingual version. Now they work together, right? User speaks, Silero VAD detects the speech, audio is transcribed, user pause, VAD detects silence, turn detector mode decides done or still going, bada bing, bada bing. So, okay. So first is the agent actually running. That makes sense. My bad. I swear, left clicking should not paste anything in the terminal. It's so weird. So I need to run this if I'm right. Let's do this really quick. Yeah. So I don't like when that happens sometimes. And to be honest, it can run that command, but there are just small times where I like running commands too. But I can't run those commands unless I get an error and do that, and then I understand sometimes because the folder is being weird. Makes sense, makes sense. I get it. So, because I'm not used to that. Usually I'm able just to run a command in the project, but technically I guess there's like two different things here. So I actually need to move into that folder and then I have to run it. That's so annoying, person left. So now this is gonna start or push this to the cloud. I'm not sure how that works because on a server, there's no pushing to the cloud. You just push it to your server and then it's there. Mm-hmm. Change process is still going. Yep. Right. Done. Hmm. So it says, think it started. Nope, I don't see anything here. I don't see a row. I'm not sure if it's still loading though. Like I assume so. Like that. Control C. Because it keeps saying go to playground, but there's no playground page. Then it told me the same thing right now. Find playground in the left-hand sidebar and click connect. Am I missing something here? Is it the sandbox maybe? Yeah, it has to be this. No. I mean, it would have said, can I get information on when? No. Hmm. I'm pretty sure it's that sandbox, but maybe. Let's see. Maybe not. There we go. I wasn't tripping though, right? That was in
Eh,
rain. Left-hand side. So
yeah,
I should have put a lot while visiting the site. So connect.
it's already picking up your microphone. Maybe.
It is.
So cool.
I'm pretty sure this would be connecting or doing something right here. Yep.
Sounds like you're
Oh, you know
got it.
what? I can see what's happening. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I,
What's on your mind today?
I can't complain right now. I'm just showing some people how to use LiveKit, which is a wonderful voice agentic platform. I mean, it's much more than that, but yeah.
That sounds awesome. LiveKit sounds like a powerful tool. It's great you're showing others how to use it. Anything specific you want to highlight about it or need help explaining?
No, but I was curious really quick. Actually, no, I can't do that. Um, I can't do that either. Oh my goodness. You know what, really quick? Let's disconnect this because I'm just super curious and I don't think it's gonna work, but I'm gonna try to cheat really quick because I want to show a feature. Um, I need to maybe if I turn off my camera, sweet. Hey,
Hey there.
so I'm
How
slow.
can I help you today?
It literally is already connected. It just does that as a, I'm so used to the component where it just like it loads up differently. That thing just means it's like waiting for me to respond.
No worries at all. Everyone has their own pace. Sounds like you're used to a system that feels more responsive or different in how it waits for input happens to all of us. What are you working on that feels like this? Let me know. I'm here to help.
I was curious, can you see what's in my camera right now? Can you tell me who this is?
I can't see or access your camera or any personal data. Your privacy is safe with me. But if you describe what you see, I might be able to help identify or give info.
It can see camera and stuff right now. I just don't, I think I need to turn that on or do something, but I just wanted to see if that was like already a default thing. How does that sound so far? You can hear that, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah. Of course it
impressed.
needs some like editing, but I think default, that sounds pretty good. It's pretty responsive.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so let's come back here. Obviously, these are like hello logs. I could take this stuff and put it in here. I'm not gonna do that right now though. I was gonna say. So that worked in the playground. I was able to find that. I'm just curious, what other features or improvements can we make to this voice agent before we uh, actually have it call a cell phone number? So give it tool calling, this is obviously, of course, specialized agent instead of one giant prompt, custom instructions, model swaps, switch to OpenAI's real time, use a different provider, Before calling up a phone, you want to set up blah, 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 blah. That's cool. We'll set up that in a minute. Right? This template already includes telephony aware noise cancellation. Interesting. So what I, oh, sorry about that. Oh, sorry about that. So actually what I want to do is, let's set up a calendar tool. We can use cow.com. I can provide my API key. And for telephony, I use Telnyx. I can provide that information as well. And I think I already have SIP trunking set up. When setting this up, though, just add a dummy variable to my .env.local, and I will paste my keys there. And then you will probably need to create a script to just run through and see what's already there so you can use it. And I don't think that message is going to send because it clicked out of this. God damn it. And also when you create, oh, you can also just add dummy environmental variables to the .env.local file for my Telenex API and my cow.com API. And then you can create some scripts to run through to see what I already have to connect everything together. Of course, you can deploy individual agents to accomplish this task. So let it do the cow.com API, Telenex SIP, LiveKit. So we're gonna have to do a couple of things at once. Of course, that's how we want to work and do things. I think that's good for right now. Let it play around and do that. Any questions so far or thoughts, Adam?
No, just I'm kind of amazed at what we can do these days. So what are some use cases? Probably, probably barring the phone connectivity piece, like what are some use cases
I
maybe
mean,
that you were looking at?
from personal experience, a lot of them are just very simple stuff. Speed to lead, confirmation on appointments, confirmation on prescription reminders. Um, um, just stuff kind of in that area, if that makes sense. I don't want to say I don't want to recommend any of the spamming stuff because most of the clients that I had, because also remember there's like ethics, legalities, right? You know,
Mhm.
not getting a voice assistant to just spam a whole group of people and call them because you have those numbers. So usually I would be building basically these kind of like pipelines or orchestration pipelines of outbound calls for companies that were reaching back out to clients. Maybe it was a
Right.
database reactivation or coupons or things like that, if that makes sense. Or if
Yeah.
it was like event planning, it's more following up on uh, 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 the event after they filled out some questions, or maybe instead of filling out questions, they talk to the voice AI and then that goes into the database, leading into the other one, really the most common of like um, lead qualification, and then routing that call, forwarding that call to the qualifier to close out the call and stuff like that. Really more so a lot of those kind of projects.
Okay.
hmm And I'm saying that as far as like definite guarantees. The other ones, I think if I was to speak about them, it'd kind of be like speculation, I guess, from my personal experience. And that's not to say they aren't being done or aren't possible.
Right.
A lot of the
Right.
companies I see taking advantage are like in that category of they already have clients, or it's kind of like in some process that they're already doing. The other side is usually just I'm trying to just call a whole group of people and do stuff that are not my clients, which would then fall
Yeah.
into you didn't get consent to call them, their number, and all that other stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I get that. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
like to hopefully get more context. Yeah, there's a lot that you can do, but at the end of the day, if you get a list of people and you call them and then they report one, we're going to report your number as spam, right? That's one thing.
Yeah.
And then how does that fall back on you if you get lawsuits because you're considered spam of calling people who never consented to you even having their number or you bought it or whatever the case may be? And there's laws around that as
Oh yeah.
well. So it's like, yeah, I don't try to get into a lot of projects like that because I mean, one, I'm just like an ethical person, but two, I kind of really don't want to deal with that at the end of the day, even if I was building something like that for a company and didn't care.
Yeah. No, I think it's good to think about, you know, valid use cases that you'd be, pride. I don't know, if pride's the issue, but like, confident that you could speak in public about what you're doing, you know, and
Right, 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 right.
and that you're abiding by most of the rules and regulations that whatever field you might be touching.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's definitely important because a lot, I mean, that stuff is just getting amplified, and then it's going to give AI the bad name when kind of those things have nothing to do with AI. Those are like general marketing rules,
Yeah.
practices, laws, and stuff like that that you shouldn't be doing that to consumers. I think there's a definite kind of easy mix up, and people don't simply know how to draw those lines. And to be honest, I only know about that because once again, my first company was a credit repair company where I was in an
Yeah.
industry where you can't just market and say anything opposed to automations where you kind of can and stuff like that.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yep.
I learned my lesson. I never got in trouble, but I learned my lesson with that very fast. Like I'm not playing around. And if I build something and I'm giving it to a lot of people and that comes back to me at the end of the day, because they can easily say, well, this person just built it for us. Like now I'm involved and
No,
nah,
that's
I'm
just
good. I'm
yeah.
so good.
But thanks for letting me know. Goodbye.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
my world is heavily regulated that I do a lot of the work and advice that I do. But
yeah. And
um
regulation is not bad. It's just there's a lot of newcomers that like literally don't even know about regulation or think about it. Like literally they're like, huh, I can't
100%.
send emails to people. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like you huh? Or like, I can't just
But
call people like that. Or like when I say the email thing, I mean like email people from their main email. And I'm like, you don't know that you'll get marked as spam and like there's domain reputation and like SMS reputation and like all these
yeah.
you're the and I tell them like and this may sound mean those are the reasons we have laws like A2P, and when you go by a phone number, we have to pay now and wait 10 days and 20 days because people just want
Yep.
to ruin the process. This doesn't make any sense. It just hurts us in the end, to be honest. Like it just ends up hurting you. So I think a lot more people are, I don't want to say taking that serious, but I mean, and to be honest, like most of those industries, because a lot of the work I was doing was like for enterprise people, they're already kind of like on that already. Or like I said, they already consent to doing that thing. So building a voice
Yep.
assistant for them to do something isn't really gonna fall out like get you in trouble because they already have a process where when people fill out their forms, they already got a checkbox to consent
Yep.
and all those other
Yep.
things like that.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Um yeah, I think that's the I mean, I personally think that's the way to go. It's one of the one of the companies I'm working with that's got me on retainer. Um, I'm trying to enhance their brand and social media footprint. And one of their feedbacks is I don't want to do full lead scraping. Like that's not how I want to operate my business. And I said, that's fine. I won't get into lead scraping. But if you want to, bring articles of interest or put yourself on video and talk about your philosophy of why your business is differentiated from other businesses, and you just want to start posting that on places where you think your customers are scrolling for social media, we can do that. And that's not, there's no ethical boundary there except for what you put in the content. You're not going to deal with lead scraping. You might do some lead magnets, things like that, but you're in control of the message you send out. And they're like, okay, we're into that. Um, and I think if you're going to be a good advisor to somebody, you probably have to have those conversations.
For sure. Nah, for sure. If I didn't play that consulting role, then of course I would. I just, build it and get paid. But yeah, I'm not, I can't do stuff like that. So this made that plan. All right, it's gonna add 4 calendar function tools. I'm not even gonna add what those are. I'm just curious to see. Kyle.com, add 3 calendars. Look at that. That's just so cool. It's adding tests there, right? And I think that's just like I can't explain the greatness of verifying tests and things before you go try them yourself. It just saves the day.
Yep.
So we got this stuff to put right here, and basically really simple. It's just gonna put these things here, do that, and verify. So, okay, I need to go get 2 things. I need to go get a new cow.com API key. I should already be signed in, but yeah, I don't know what to say. Just go to settings. Let's go to API. It's not a new one. Grab that. Uh, Hopefully it made the .env file first. That should be the uh I don't see that. God damn it. Okay. I will wait. Oh, but I can still that's one. And then I need my party. I need to make a new one because that's my main one. So I need to make a Telenyx API key. Hey, $80 in credits gone. Excuse me. And did I have to make a new the V1 last time? Yeah, okay. No, that's not what I was trying to do. Thank you very much. So we got that right there. And then I need to go grab an event ID. Oh, wrong thing. Event types. Let's just do this bad boy here. My event type is this here. The username is, I believe it's this one. Should be. Bam. So we save that. Why is that showing like in the terminal? That's weird. Is that a new feature or is it like bugging? It must be like a new thing. It must be bugging. Hmm. Just doing those tests and doing everything. Ah, okay. I see. Every time this changes, it will do that like a actual server. I got it. 2 test fix needed. The booking tests need to take confirmation run. The agent correctly asked for information. If I could think back to all the tool tests that I did and how much time that was,
Yeah.
priceless.
That's the test module. Pretty powerful.
You just confirm. Did it again? No, it didn't. I can't tell because I don't know what that error was before. I don't know, it wasn't anything. It was the same thing. Okay.
So while it's running that lint, uh, off-topic question based on your WordPress experience,
Mhm.
have you thought of um, a way to convert? So you started this whole series with, you know, creating a website with Claude Code, um, and that produces a static website. So what if you want to progress your static website that you're like, oh, this is a great design, and I want to make it into a WordPress? I don't know, is that a theme or I don't know exact terminology, but
Two
using
things.
Claude Code to turn it over.
Two things. I mean, you could three. You could make your own theme with Claude Code and then hook it up to a WordPress site. You could buy a theme or use a free theme, hook it up to the Claude Code. It reads that theme and works with it there. And then, because at the end of the day, you're just making like a headless UI for WordPress.
Yeah.
So that same Next.js site that I have, all I need to do is connect it to the WordPress API, and there I go.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Following me?
I'm trying to think through my own scenario. So I created a static for a brand and I did it with Claude. And I don't know if it's in Next.js. I'll have to go back and think about that. But yeah, so
But their CMS is WordPress.
uh well,
Or is
the
that what
person
you
that
like give to them, like how you set it up or
yeah,
whatever?
so
Mhm.
let's just say that they're limited experience, right? So they have some contractor that they use, and the contractor has limited experience. And basically, they can only use WordPress as the CMS. So I've
Mhm.
got to get the new look and feel to them.
Mhm.
And my instinct was the one time I might build some just skills and stuff through for Claude based on WordPress documentation to then try to
Yeah,
convert it
I was
over.
thinking. Now that you said it, I'll add it. Because this week I was gonna add WordPress and Shopify, but I just didn't yet. So I'll make sure I add those. Um,
Okay.
it's something I'm familiar with. I haven't done it in. It's something that has been on my list way back when I learned WordPress.
Right.
It's basically using a headless UI, which basically means you're not using like Elementor, Divi, Cadence, none of those things. Your UI
Yeah.
is somewhere else, but it's connected to WordPress, blogs, WooCommerce, whatever it is.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, that's called headless CMS, basically. That's what that is.
Yeah.
So everything is built. Here's the status, all success, 3 original, 3 new. It shows my SIP trunks are empty on this project. No inbound, no outbound, no rules. You may have them on a different LiveKit project. Next steps to set this up. You'll need to set up SIP trunk on this LiveKit project. Da 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 da. Um, so yeah, first let's test the CLAUDE.com integration, and then we can do the Telenyx.
Jeez, man, there's a lot going on.
So this is updating this probably. 11 events found. The slot endpoint has a parameter naming issue. Let's fix that. Man, 11 event types found. Let me also quickly run the test to make sure the fix didn't break anything. I ain't gonna lie, that's a new one. I don't think I've seen that one before.
Yeah.
But I won't lie, that's because, and I'm for sure gonna do it at the end. I want to do it in the middle, but I'm just like, I'll probably do it at the end. I'm gonna have a very detailed, like, Claude spec file to change and have some stuff to edit your Claude code to do a lot of these things automatically and stuff like that. All six pass tests. Now let's set this up. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I think I have it set up, but to be honest, sometimes it's just too confusing in the UI for me. I'm sure you can possibly check. I'm not sure. And if you can't check with the API, if they have a CLI, I can use that and log in as well. Just let me know. Which I knew it could do that, but I was curious if they had a CLI because I couldn't remember. Because I did this process not too long ago. Like I said, all the voice platforms have some new updates where just recently I just like I'm always subscribed and I have the change log to everything. So I'm always notified whenever they do new stuff. Just kind of different going in on the front end and looking and trying to find that stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
So this is going to find my phone numbers. I do have a lot of stuff that's already set up to do things. So these must be the only ones left on current regular credentials, and they're not connected to anything else like VAPI or PipeCat. We can create everything that's new that is needed, like the FQDN. Yeah, just create new credentials because I think all of those other credentials are specifically for VAPI the way I set them up a while ago. Be perfect. So I'll create a setup script that does everything. So we left scripts. Set the name, assign the phone number, create an inbound, outbound. Yep, run it. Mm. Previous run already created it, but failed. So let me update it to read the user. That makes sense instead of creating a do. Hey man, I ain't gonna lie, that insight thing I did, I think is okay, I don't want to say that because that might be AGI, so I'm gonna just be quiet. Most things work. Hey, you tried, buddy. Now it's creating a set dispatch rule. And of course, when it's done with all this, I'm gonna ask for an entire recap. But so far, I mean, technically we're only like at 40 minutes that this took, I think. All right, everything is set up. We got inbound trunk, outbound trunk, dispatch rule, Telenyx. I could start a call to test this, start my agent. So, really quick, can you just give me a full recap of everything we set up? And then also, are you saying to test it that I can run that command by itself and go back to the playground? Or are you saying I can actually call it instead of using the playground? Is that number really quick? 213. So what is it? So we built a LiveKit voice agent, took it from the template, voice pipeline, and connected it to LiveKit Cloud, connected it to my cloud.com, created what's called a SIP connection, and created some tests. So I still need to run that command in order to call it. Okay, I'm like, man, I had to really make sure I was like not, that was for some reason really confusing me. Like it's speaking as if I can run a command and call it locally, which I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense. But it's saying like, no, just deploy it and then da 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 da. So, okay, anyway, this is already still running, so I don't need to do anything. So technically I should just be able to come back here. Yo, hey, how you doing?
Hey there. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I'm good. I can't complain.
What?
I was just trying to book an appointment.
Great to hear you're good. Let's get that appointment booked. What date and time would you prefer for your appointment?
Is tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. available?
Looks like there are no available slots at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow. Would you like me to check other times on that day or a different day?
You can check other times.
There are no available slots at all tomorrow.
So I'm pretty sure I do need to probably rerun that command. So because I mean I would think that this auto reloads. But I don't think so. Unless it got an error, which I'll tell it to look at that again in a minute. Can you close? Unless it got an error, and then I'll tell it to look at that again and fix that. But it didn't even sound like it started to run the tool call. It just kind of automatically killed it. So let's try again. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I'm good.
What can I help you with?
I was trying to book an appointment. I was trying to see what was on the calendar for tomorrow.
Got it. Could you please tell me the date you'd like to check availability for? If you mean tomorrow, what is today's date so I can confirm the exact date?
And I love that. That's going to go into exactly what I did with VAPI yesterday to troubleshoot that and do that. Right. So we're having some problems. For some reason, the assistant is asking me what is today's date when it should know what the date is. We definitely need to improve the prompt. And also, it seems to be running tool calls, but just not firing or working at all in any capacity. Now I can come back here and do what I wanted before with all of this information. And I'm sure it can grab it, but I literally just want to, I hate when it does that. I literally just want to take everything from the first time we started this And then I'm just going to paste that there and let it run through. And even if we went through this, we'd probably be able to see what happened when that tool call ran. Now, I kind of don't want to just because I'm getting PTSD of looking through logs like this and stuff like that, even though Claude Code is making it extremely better. But you could. I know a lot of people probably just will never do that. But this is something that I do whenever stuff is happening in the background. I just want to look. Now, I'll be honest, because you are going to work with JSON so much, you probably are just going to get the skill that you read this and it looks like hidden Morse code. Because usually it just looks like regular text to me. I can tell these are logs, these are timestamps, it's debugging. This is obviously LiveKit. And then it's just, oh my goodness, every time I click, it's retarded. It's literally just like transcripts and things happening and stuff like that. So, right, I can see both clearly is issue date problem, the agent guessed 2024, which is the cutoff date of almost all large language models. Tools are firing. I can see it, right? Date, but and this makes total sense. I already know why. No calendar stuff is ever going to work if the date and time does not work. So yeah, it's going to update that. Oh, damn, man, I do have to run that command every time and kill it. I don't like that. That's sad. This should auto refresh. So I got to come all the way. I'm slow. I literally have this in my freaking clipboard. This is kind of messing me up. CC, Windows V, copy. I'm just gonna do that again. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you? What can I do for you today?
I'm just trying to schedule an appointment for tomorrow at 10:30. I wonder, trying to see if that time is available.
Tomorrow at 10:30 is not available. But I see morning times from midnight until 3:30 a.m., and then the next available time is 4:30 p.m. or later. Would you like to pick another time from these available slots for your appointment?
Sure, why not? Let's pick the first option.
The first available time tomorrow is midnight. Can I have your full name and email address to book this appointment for you?
My name is Michael Jackson, and my email is example@gmail.com.
Just to confirm, you'd like to book an appointment tomorrow at midnight. Your name is Michael Jackson, and your email is example@gmail.com. Is that all correct?
Yes.
It looks like you already have a booking at midnight, or you are not available at that time. Would you like to try?
So same thing, simple problem. And I was running into this yesterday, which is very simple and easy, even though I didn't get to resolve it because I ended the call. But I'm still having some calendar problems. I'm not sure why. Also, I'm very curious when a tool call is fired, is there not a specific message that can be put there? And also after the tool call is fired, I'm just very curious. Now, I'm still not going into plan mode, which I would do to kind of verify and kind of get to the problem, just kind of relaxing and true vibing today. Just kind of just vibing. Right? And of course, what I would actually do if I wasn't vibing is just go to the LiveKit documentation, And then of course I could just search for what I would be looking for. But I would come here and just try to figure out how things worked and other things like that. Oh, here's a good project. Oh, I think this is the normal one that everybody uses, huh? Right? Web embed agent starter. This is a starter template for LiveKit agents that you might approach building a web application using. Usually they have an example of this, but it seems like they no. Ah, man, not building from scratch is just so fun and kind of easy. So we have all this stuff. We have workflows. We have tools and definition use. So I could come put this page inside of there. Maybe it's missing something. Some workflows. Just come
Hey, I
back.
gotta drop. We hit
Oh yeah,
12:30,
no problem.
but I'm still amazed at how far you can get, in an hour and a half, basically.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna finish this out. I'm sure I'm gonna solve this, and then I'm gonna have it call my phone with the calendar working, and then that's where I'll end it. But yeah, man, always thanks for showing up.
All right, man. Thanks
No
for doing
problem.
this.
Uh-huh.
Talk to you.
So this is literally it's doing what I just said. So instead of it doing that, I'm just gonna paste what it was literally gonna look at. Literally, that's what it was trying to do. And then there's other things like I could probably um use this task thing here because a task would be to make sure that the email is getting booked and like all those other things like that. So now it's compacting the conversation just because we've done some things. And actually what I'm gonna do just to kind of speed up time on myself right here is close this just so I can be ready to start it again when I need to after it makes all of these changes. Oh, you could have hold music. It's actually, that's so underrated. It's not even funny. Uh, just a lot of stuff to always, like whenever this stuff is going on, and sometimes it can't be helped, but whenever this stuff is going on and you don't have anything to do, kind of like I've always kind of referenced, like it's really good to just come through here. Because you might see something that's interested and then you can start another conversation and go into seeing like what you might want to do next. And for example, how you might want to deploy this to different clients and just different things like that. Like this would, oh, sorry about that. This would be an important uh, link to, oh, these are just a plethora of important things right here, APIs. A lot of stuff there. Oh, go back, please. SIP participants. Yeah, a lot of stuff. All right, so it's adding some stuff. Oh, it's adding that thing I just said where it'll basically say something before a tool call is called. You guys will hear that in a moment. needs to look at the API a little bit more. Then it's gonna run those scripts, those tests again that it did. Let's just wait for these responses. Now let it run the test and make sure the additions don't break anything. I can see these tests are passing. All right, gonna limit. So now I can run that command again. All right, so let's run that again. Uh, LiveKit. Hey, how you doing?
Hey there. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you? Anything I can help you with today?
No, I'm doing well. I was just wondering, I was trying to book an appointment for tomorrow at 10:30 a.m.
Glad to hear you're doing well. Let me check the availability for tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Let me check what times are available. Tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. is not available. Here are some available slots. Early morning from 5:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. and then later in the afternoon from 4:30 p.m. onwards. Do any of these times work for you, or would you like to try a different date?
5:30 a.m. is good. Can we set a time for that?
Great choice. Before I book your appointment for 5:30 a.m. tomorrow, may I have your full name and email address?
My name is Michael Jackson, and my email is example@gmail.com.
Thanks, Michael Jackson. Just to confirm, you'd like to book an appointment tomorrow, February 12th at 5:30 a.m. Your email is example@gmail.com. Is that correct?
Correct.
Shall I proceed? One moment while I book that for you. It seems there's a conflict with your schedule, or you already have a booking at that time. Would you like to try a different time slot or date?
So for the last time, and we got an error, timestamp, path, bat request, user. Oh yeah, that I see it saying exactly um what it needs to say for um sorry, so many things I'm thinking right now. This is an actual error, right? So it is, I wonder really quick if I look. I think, okay. So we are still getting errors, and I don't understand whenever we try to make a tool call. And I think I don't need to copy and paste the logs because it already has access to the logs. Now I want to say this, like I have a fix for this that I think I can go look for some information and grab it because when I used to use Cloud.com, I had all the time zones, I had all these things. To be honest, I don't have to use Cloud.com. I can use something as simple as Google.com. Very easy. I just chose to use Cloud.com as an example. But I'm also trying to go through um, just like letting the AI do it and seeing how long that will take and all those things like that, if that makes sense. But usually when it comes to calendars, the normal reasons why you'll have problems is either the agent doesn't know what time it is. So when it makes a time, it needs to put that in the correct ISO format. And it's always going to be ISO format depending on what type of platform you are, but they all almost all calendars except ISO. Um, it needs to have that correct. Um, in order for basically for all this to work. And then to be more detailed, I don't like the way that it's speaking, and I don't think it should speak like this when it's doing booking. It should be a little bit more detailed, but we're not kind of like setting that up. And what I mean by that is, even though we're in a testing ground, is depending on that number, you can have certain APIs. Like so, Telenyx has an API that when somebody call, you can like get information from that number and use that in the call, whether it's like the first name and all those other things. Now, granted, that might not be that person's name all the time, but I'm just kind of going through how you could kind of personalize that call a little bit more. Maybe you're pulling information from a database, maybe it's information from a form, and then you have the time variable there, depending on um, that, like I said, you could use their phone number to see what time it is because maybe that's where they're from. But of course, you have the variable of people. I have a New York number, but I don't live in New York anymore, and I'm not even from New York. I just used to live there for a certain time of my life. I'm hoping that kind of makes sense there. In my case, I would like to ask, hey, where do you live? So I can get that time zone. So when I do schedule on the calendar, it's gonna be able to match that time zone when the booking actually happens and stuff like that. Yes, but the problem is I gave you a specific event and you're not checking to see what pops up that way or to even test uh, booking on the calendar, which is really how a test should have gone. And I'm getting technical here. It asked me for the event type, so it only should be checking with that event type. And it sees I have this here, but I think what it's doing is like when it says all this other information, it's talking about other calendar events like types that I have on there. So this one was just like a 30-minute call. I have a 60-minute call. I have, paid consultation. It's talking about like all those other ones. So I'm not sure if it did. Even though it ran a test and it passed, I think it just did a test for that, not based on like this actually needs to book on a calendar in this testing floor, whatever the case may be, and talking this matter or whatever the case may be, and et cetera. All right. And to really be honest, setting up the calendar is so easy. But I think it's important, once again, the whole point of these videos, if you're watching this far, is to get used to using Claude Code, seeing what it will do. Also, because most people are not developers, which is not bad. That doesn't mean you can't use the normal processes that a dev would actually use or um, do in order to test to see where that problem is, just like this calendar one I'm explaining, right? So the calendar one, there's multiple ways you can do it, but at the end of the day, you're going to say, hey, this is the event that I want. See if you can pull, the events from there. And then if you can pull the events, then you should be able to set an event, and then that should be the workflow of this assistant before, what you would normally do is probably come here, try to go to cow.com API. And I don't think this is bad. This is just what I'm used to, right? So just like in VAPI, you could come down here, look for creating an event, create a booking, and then you would fill all this stuff out. And then you would take that exact JSON. This is how you would kind of debug that to see what's going on and stuff. But I mean, basically, we're just having the AI do this here. All right, the booking and cancellation both succeeded. So I'm wondering, is that the email I just got? Yeah. It was. All right, so that means if I come back here, I need to stop that. And then I'm gonna need to run that command again, but I'm just gonna wait. Uh, So this command, so as changes are made, found 20 slides, multiple times, canceled it immediately. So now we should be able to. Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I'm doing
Anything
good.
I can help you with?
Yeah, I was wondering if I could book an appointment tomorrow at 7 a.m.
Let me check what times are available. Tomorrow at 7 a.m. is available for booking. Would you like to go ahead and book that slot?
Sure.
If yes, great. Could you please provide me with your full name and email address to complete the booking?
Actually, you know what? I just remembered. Can you check for Sunday? What times are available on Sunday?
Let me check what times are available. On Sunday, the available times are midnight and half past midnight, early morning, then later in the evening from 6 p.m. to around 11:30 p.m. in half-hour increments.
I
Do
see.
any of these work for you?
No, no, that's fine.
It seems
Can you just book at 7 a.m. tomorrow?
just to confirm, you want to book an appointment for tomorrow at 7 a.m.? If yes,
Yes.
please provide your full.
My name is Michael Jackson and my email is example@gmail.com.
Thank you, Michael Jackson. You want to book the appointment for tomorrow at 7 a.m. Is that correct?
Correct.
Should I go ahead and book it?
Sure.
One moment while I book that for you. It looks like you're either already booked at that time or not available for a 7 a.m. appointment tomorrow. Would you like me to check for another time or day for you?
It's so funny. We're like, I know we can figure out what that is, but I do actually have a meeting at 1 o'clock. But once again, if you've watched this far, I would like to finish all these things, and I'm not going to speak as if they're not finished because this challenge is not over, and I'm doing a lot of these videos over. It's just a hands-on approach once again of using Claude Code if you're interested in building something or have an idea, and just showing how Claude Code can help you get that started and troubleshoot through problems and all those other things like that. So I do hope it was enjoyable and uh, somewhat learning experience and things like that. And see you tomorrow on the next one.